All right. So when you're logged in as a technician reviewing your insight, you will see the e-timesheet tab at the top. And when you click it, it defaults to the submit tab, and we have the submit and the summary. So we will start with the submit. We have we start with 5 different entries for time, and additional ones could be added as needed, but this should cover most people for their day. So the first thing that you will do is just confirm the date. We have today's date by default, but if you, for whatever reason you need to enter a back date or anything, you can select so. So then the next field is our job number. So this technician we're logged into is assigned a work assignment for this specific job as well as their ad hoc. So we'll go ahead and just treat it like we're submitting this for a job. So first thing that we enter is our start time, and we'll just say we're doing 7 a.m. and we're going to go till our lunch at 12. And always make sure to double check the AMs and PMs. Most common mistakes are that, so just, quick little gut check on those ones. Then we have the unit worked. So we have our traditional work. So, if you're hourly, that's what you would enter. And then we have, travel, standby, lunch. We also have the unit type pay. So if you were working on an internal turbine or an external turbine, you could reference here and then also reference units complete. But we'll start with just entering traditional time and go from there. All right. So, okay, I work till noon. I'll make sure I get my lunch break in here as well.
It's worth noting the little drop down he's playing with on the clock looks different depending on your device. So tablets, cell phones, computers, they'll render that slightly differently. But I found that most are pretty user friendly. Sometimes it's a scroll wheel, sometimes it's a drop down.
Yep, exactly. All right. And just to kind of give a reflection of, what is most commonly just a day that would be entered, we'll just go ahead and put in our after work shift as well. And this is just, what we would want to do at the end of every day, and then be able to verify, that the hours we entered are correct and make sure that there's no mistakes or anything like that. So say we went till 4:30 today, and it was just back to work. Okay, so I can look at these ones. I could verify, okay, those were my hours today, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit submit on these. Whoops. Submit. All right, and what we get is a confirmation. We get the green checkbox that these have been submitted. And then we can go to our summary as well, and we can see the status of any of these entries. So, right now they've essentially gone to the manager. The manager will then be able to review them. If they approve them, we'll see that status change to approve. If for whatever reason they're rejected, we would see a rejection here as well. If a time entry is rejected, you do get an automatic email sent to you, and it will disclose the reason for the rejection, and that will also direct you to fix it. But you can also just access that anytime from your summary. So we'll go ahead and go through just a couple more examples of the time entry, and specifically some of the unique callouts. So one checkbox we have here is the night shift. Now I'm not sure if you guys will be utilizing the night shift option, but it is worth kind of going over real quick. So if you have a shift that specifically crosses midnight, it's not just I'm working at night or anything. It's a shift that at some point during your hours worked actually crosses midnight. We'd want to disclose that here. So let's say I started at 9 o'clock at night, and I stopped at 1:30 in the morning. So we want to make sure to hit the night shift, because otherwise that might read that as negative hours and say that you worked, because we're saying the shift was isolated to the 24th. So any shift that just crosses that midnight area, you want to make sure to hit night shift. And then you can also enter your scope of work here. And these are just, quick little notes that will also appear for the manager to see. So you can just put over shift needed. And then just like any of the other ones, you would just, got to select the unit work. So yes, all of these are required fields. Anything that you forget to enter, you will be forced to address it before you can proceed. And we'll just say this was once again work. All right, and we get another confirmation. And from my summary here, we should be able to see quite a few entries. Yep, perfect. All right, and then you can see as well like any of those overnight shifts, just the confirmation of hours. Anything, if you see, your hours were negative or excessive or anything like that, those do create flags for the admin team and the managers. But you as a technician want to make sure at the end of the day and at the end of the week pay period that you come in and just kind of look at this stuff and make sure that it was correct.
And there's an edit button on that summary. If you notice something's not right, you can hit edit and make changes right from this summary screen. So.
Yes, exactly. So let's say, I actually realized I started at 6 today, and I want to make sure I get that correctly paid. We can update it here. And if it was already approved or anything like that, it will put it back into the submitted stage and reappear for the managers and QC team to take a look at. All right. So I think a good example to go through would be the units worked, and as well as kind of go over the bonus pay or the bonus for multiple completions. So we'll just continue using today as an example. So 8 a.m. to 12. And we're going to say I am doing the external turbines. Now, in that first half of my shift today, I actually didn't complete any of them yet. So we'll put that I didn't do, and I'm still working on it. None have been actually completed. And then just to make it very clean and reflect any time entries, we'll put another lunch in here. All right, and then the second half of my day, I was actually able to complete a couple of them. So I worked until 4:30, still on these external ones, but I did 2. Now, because I did 2, that's going to give me that unit bonus, which we have in here as well. Now, one thing about the unit bonus, since we're obviously, this is not hourly or anything, we actually don't need to reflect a time entry value. So you could probably, the simplest thing is just to put the end time of your day again. And we would choose this option. And we are saying that we get 1 bonus because we completed 2 in one day. So I could, quick check it, all of this stuff, make sure it is correct. I have my correct, they were external, perfect. And I can submit. Get my confirmation, and then back at my summary, it's getting a, little full, but I can see all those new entries I made and verify that my unit quantity is correct. So, yeah, another thing to reference is down at the bottom, like I said, I saw these 2 jobs listed because I have work assignments. You also see any work assignments you have assigned listed here at the bottom. So if there is, for whatever reason, a work assignment missing, you'll just want to contact your manager, and that can get sorted and make sure it correctly appears in your list. But by default, those should be correctly kind of put in place.
Houston, can I just jump? I'm glad you brought that up. Just to clarify for everybody, Jennifer, Kathy, / I'm assisting in this as well, but Jennifer / me, they should just text us if they don't see it there, and we will fix that ASAP for all the guys.
All right, so that's it as far as kind of the navigation, submission, and review side. So any questions or call outs?
I have one other question, but I don't want to get in your way either.
No, go ahead.
And thank you. You took one of my questions off the table. If anybody, I'm not saying they do, but if anybody has any issue at the start of the process, logging into Insight, is the first action to William Kim gave us an email address for help desk. Is that where they go, or do they contact Jennifer or myself or you or Andrew?
If they've got login issues, they should go to that help desk. The help desk can reset passwords. And then if a new user needs to be set up for some reason, it gets forwarded from them to my team. So. Okay,
great. I will send them there first. We will get that to them on the big text thread as well. We'll get them that email address right after this call.
Sweet, perfect, yeah. That way, yeah, anything through help desk, that way, because we all have visibility on it. That way, if for whatever reason one person's out or anything, make sure everything gets addressed at the appropriate time.
Okay. And just to clarify, ad hoc is everything, shop, training, all the other things not tied to a job. That's a catch-all. Is that correct? Like there's a drop down, right, under ad hoc?
Yeah, that's my understanding. Is it's all unbilled kind of training. It's as far as I've seen it.
Yeah, you can click on that unit worked right now, Houston. It is for things exactly like training. So LMS stands for Learning Center. I'm blanking on the M. But so that's all your standard training, and then advanced training is if you get scheduled for a very specific class to advance your knowledges. And then, downtime is different from standby. So like something like a wind out event is related to a job. Downtime's truly if we're not able to dispatch somebody to a job, but they are still on payroll. And then safety, sometimes we have to do safety stand downs or safety training, those types of things. And what we're in right now would be considered a meeting.